Report on President Biden's handling of classified documents finds not enough evidence to bring criminal charges. The president disagrees with the report's characterization of his memory. Here with Fox's Peter Ducey.
In his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president, I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation.
The president's attorneys called the repeated mentions of his memory in the report gratuitous, prejudicial, and inflammatory. Former President Trump wins the Nevada Republican caucuses, saying in Las Vegas,
"You know, if we win this state, we easily win the election in November. We have to win the election."
Didn't have much competition. Nikki Haley declined to participate, claiming the process was rigged in Trump's favor. She lost a non-binding primary in Nevada Tuesday to none of these candidates. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
And welcome to a thank goodness it's Friday TGIF. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
I'm Lee Barrows.
I thought you about to start singing.
No.
Go on, tell it. I dare you.
I
No,
did
I'm
good
not
to
gonna
get
tell
it
anything. I
out.
can't sing.
Rayford told us a joke right before we went on air.
Uh-huh.
Kelly and I are
They're
in
still
tears.
smiling.
No, we're in tears.
Your jokes are just too much.
It was unexpected. I should have known.
I thought it was.
We about hit the floor.
Serious mess here in North Carolina. An investigation is underway after a 12-year-old boy died at a wilderness therapy camp. Only one day after enrolling into the controversial program. That's over in Transylvania County, by the way. According to a press release from the sheriff's office on last Friday, the 2nd, a 12-year-old male with parents' consent was transported by two men from New York to the Trails Carolina camp in Lake Toxaway. After intake, the teen was assigned to a cabin for lodging with other minors. 4 adult staff members were also reportedly assigned to that cabin. The following morning, right about 8 o'clock, a 911 call was made in reference to a 12-year-old male not breathing. Rescue efforts were initiated, then ceased as emergency crews said that the boy had been dead for quite some time. Still awaiting the full results of the autopsy, though the initial report indicates the cause of death was not natural. Trails Carolina states on their website that their wilderness therapy program's mission is to give children the confidence, coping mechanisms, and communication skills that will help them become the best version of themselves. The program, which also costs $715 per day, depending upon the student's age, focuses on repairing family relationships and is dedicated to helping teens work through behavioral or emotional difficulties and achieve academic success. 10 years ago, a 17-year-old boy died from hypothermia after he ran away from that program. The camp was fined $12,000, but was allowed to continue operating. Kathleen Riley, who was 16 at the time, detailed her experience to WBTV, that's not Chicago, whatever the station is up there, WBTV is in Charlotte, in a 2021 interview, saying the experience left her worse than when she arrived. Riley and another person who was enrolled in the program said that they would go weeks into the wilderness without access to showers or other basic hygiene, describing it as an emotional and psychological trauma and little time with a trained therapist. There are dozens of similar teen programs across this country. Dozens.
Yeah.
They've all come under scrutiny in the past few years. Former clients have detailed abuses they say they endured while attending those camps.
Yeah, I don't like those camps at all.
That's something wrong with that.
They're money makers for who runs
course they
it,
are.
and they're most of the time run by people not qualified to do that. Bottom line.
Well, this little young lady who was 16, Kathleen Riley, said that she had very little time with a trained therapist.
Agreed.
What a nightmare for the parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
what
send a
nightmare.
12-year-old with 2 adults that you may or may not know,
Yep.
all the way down from New York to Transylvania County, North Carolina.
Especially this time of year. It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what he died from. There's no telling.
And at what point does the state step in and shut that place down.
Yes,
I've heard things about
yesterday.
that place
Well, I think
anyway.
that-
Yeah.
It's on
Yesterday, they
its
should have
way.
stepped in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I agree.
So anyway. Oh, my. March primary election is a matter of weeks away now. Mark your calendars for March 5th. But early voting starts next week, the day after Valentine's Day.
That's right.
If you have not registered to vote in this state, today is your last opportunity to register if you want your voice heard on primary day.
And if you want to change your party affiliation.
And that's the other part of it.
Yes.
You can change your party affiliation. You're fed up with the party you're in, go find another party.
I'm going to start a new party.
What are you going to call it?
I don't
Unaffiliated.
care party.
Independence, whatever.
Like, I can't take much more party.
You'll need to bring documents to show who you are and where you live if you go register. So if you have moved, but you have not changed your address on your driver's license, so many people don't until it comes time to renew it, you'll need to bring a document such as a power bill or something similar to prove where you live. Don't forget your identification papers or documents whenever you vote, whether it's early voting or the day of. It's finally the law in North Carolina. If you don't have a driver's license, a passport, a valid military ID, you can stop in at the Board of Elections and get one free of charge. You can also go to DMV, but that's going to be a long line.
Where? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go to the Board of Elections. They
That
are
would be the easy way to do it.
They are so helpful and nice there, and they'll have you in and out in no time.
Yeah, just bring ID. You have to have your identification of some
That's
sort
right.
just to prove who you are, to be able to get an ID that is acceptable at the polls. There are any number of them. You can go to any Board of Elections website. State Board of Elections will be great, and they will tell you exactly which IDs are acceptable. And if you've got one of those, you're good to go. If you don't, you better get on down to the Board of Elections to get one.
Right. Yep. Good information you put out there.
Yeah. And
Today's the last day. You got till 5 o'clock. Let's do it.
You get her done. Get her done, or you won't have anything to complain about
That's right.
because you were done.
And you'd be surprised in past elections when I've been out there working the polls and such, people that came up that were turned away because they had no registration, had never registered,
Yeah.
and they had no ID on them. And this is on election day itself. Early voting, you can go in there and register.
Yeah.
But and of course, I think, and maybe Jason will let me know, I think that's considered a provisional
It is.
ballot. And that's one that they have to
Verify.
verify and everything,
By
and
what
before
the-
it can even be.
by like a week after the
Yes,
election, the primary. Something.
So, but I was just amazed at the people that would come in there, and election day, March 5th, is different from early voting. No matter where you live in the county, you can go to one of the 5 voting places. But on election day, you have to go to your precinct that you live in.
Yep.
That's on your voter registration. So you have to go there, because I saw a lot of people coming in like to the Commons on voting day, and they were like, I'm at the wrong place. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, you should have known.
Yeah.
You've been warned.
Well, it's just like a lot of people. They don't. They just, all they do is they go vote. They don't get involved in anything. They don't know who the candidates are. They go in there and they kind of like pick the top 4, or maybe they'll just say, I like that name, and they pick that. Especially when you get to the North Carolina portion of the ballot, the state,
Yeah,
where
state
you have
offices.
like all these judges running.
Insurance commissioner, agriculture commissioner,
Commissioner of Labor.
judges. Yeah.
Lieutenant governor. We have someone calling in this morning that's running for lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and people don't know, they don't know who they are. I can remember way back in the early years when I'd go in to vote and I'm looking at the ballot going, I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, I had that probably when I turned 21,
Yes.
because that's at the time you could vote in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I've seen all these ads from all these people. I see these signs, but I don't know any of them. And
Right.
if I did not know anybody, I felt stupid. And by the next election time, I did know who they were.
Right. Yeah.
Because I
see
started studying.
more signs are starting to pop up now. Like overnight, I noticed there's a lot more signs out on the roadways.
Is that right?
I've got a bunch to put out because we had some state candidates. They had nobody to send the signs to, nobody to help them. And I said, and these are some that I know personally. I'll let send them to me. So I have a truck. I have yet to get out for the candidates. I'll do it. That's what we used to do with the GOP.
Mhm.
They would send them to the headquarters, and we'd get a group and go out and put them out for them, but nobody's doing that this year. So, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Agreed.
The owner of an Eastern Carolina roofing company has been arrested for fraud, and deputies
Uh-oh.
are looking for other victims.
Oh no.
Carteret County deputies have charged Christopher Husted with 4 counts of felony obtaining property by false pretenses. They say Husted, owner of Coastal Roofing, failed to perform work for customers. Why do you pay in advance?
I would never pay in advance, ever.
It's bad.
The man has been charged by other law enforcement agencies in other fraud cases. Numerous victims have come forward with a combined total of over $100,000 fraudulently obtained. The 62-year-old guy was arrested Wednesday. He's in jail under $50,000 secured bond. I don't know whether he's still in jail or not, but he was in jail. Wow.
That's right. And I bet more than anything, some of those people that he swindled were probably older people.
Oh, yeah. They're the
Yeah.
easy ones to swindle.
Yes. Makes me so mad.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Well, we're getting one more new door put on
You are.
and a couple of storm doors with doggy doors in them.
Oh, I love
And
my
the guy,
donkey.
the
Yes.
guy came last night and we had a chat, and so we're
Great.
doing it again. Same ones that put these other doors on.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice
So they
doors
did a
too.
good job.
Nice doors.
Mhm.
I tell everybody now, look for the house with the yellow door.
It's not yellow, it's
It's-
mustard.
It will. That's a form of yellow, muted yellow. It's nice color though. Yeah.
I didn't pick that one. That's what Robbie picked.
Of course.
We got the white
She's
ones.
got style.
Yeah, I got no class. This is one for the books.
Yes.
I've been around broadcast all my life,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
radio stations, radio towers, TV stations.
TV.
Been to the top of a 2,000-foot TV tower, well, up
Yeah.
to the 1,900-foot level in an elevator, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
well,
climbing that
yeah, I
thing.
was
My
going to say,
God.
wow, kudos to you.
More than 3 feet off the ground,
Yes.
no, not going to do it. An Alabama AM radio station is off the air.
What happened?
Not because of a lightning strike, nothing to do with the
Uh-oh.
FCC rules or violations or anything like that. Simply because someone somehow managed to steal its 200-foot tall tower.
Seriously?
What?
It was a remote operation, just like we have here
Right.
on WSME.
Yeah.
But they went out to the location at some point in time and overnight dismantled a 200-foot tower and took it away.
How do you
How?
do that?
I mean, what do
I
you
don't
use? Like a
know.
flatbed truck?
Oh,
Like-
it would have to be.
I mean, like a tractor trailer flatbed.
But how
Like,
do you get it down?
agreed.
So normally those things, you go to the top and you drop them one piece at a time,
Right.
1 20-foot section at a time.
That would take all night
would-
long
Uh-huh.
to do that.
Well, they
unless
should.
That's
unless
crazy.
aliens did it.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
The,
God.
They found out because a week ago they had a grass cutting crew
Mhm.
with these big bush hog tractors to go out there because these 200-foot tall towers, they're going to have 200 feet of radios underground or near this in this all grassy area. They got to have a big area
Mhm.
for a tower. He went out there and called the manager and said, "You ain't got no tower here no more." What?
Well, does anybody monitor the radio?
Well, it's off the air overnight. It's a daytime.
Right, I knew
So,
that.
okay,
but-
so
But they
that-
found out the next morning.
So it was working that day and then it goes
Yeah.
off the air at night. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you said they'd gone out a week later.
No, it was a week
Wow.
ago.
Oh,
Oh,
I see.
okay.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
that's
I'm
when they
following
went
you.
out.
That's crazy.
I just,
Maybe
Not
they
as-
wanted
what is this,
scrap
like
metal.
scrap metal? But I mean,
I don't know.
Said at the
you'd
same
have to
time.
cut it up to,
Right.
I
You
would
can't
rather just no. I'd just go find some old cars or something.
yeah, be easier.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure they're gonna solve this puzzle.
I'm
Right
pretty sure.
quick.
First of
Yeah, the
all,
one they put
it's
a
a
camera
it's
up.
a federal offense.
Yes.
You understand?
I do
right?
know that. Yeah.
Right.
If you break into any broadcast facility,
Mhm.
you can get the feds to come in and knock on
Mm-hmm.
your door and say they're interrupting the signal.
Lock the doors. Get up and lock the door.
Well, I'm
Kelly.
telling you, 10 to 1, they will put a camera up now.
Yeah.
From
When they
here
get a-
on
when
out,
they get
there'll
a
be
new tower.
cameras. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
better not put it on the tower.
The station is working with the FCC to get a temporary permit to operate with a makeshift tower or antenna system.
Mm.
Oh,
I could build one for you,
Mhm. Well, you may need to road trip it.
put one together for you. And I'm sure their engineer can too, and he's
Yeah.
probably working on it. Short tower is but have a long wire, probably 400 feet of wire.
How,
Get
I
it
mean,
up and
what is
operating.
wrong with people?
I
Like,
don't
come
know,
on.
you know.
I mean,
I that's the first one I've heard.
I just,
They found all that was left. All the wires have been cut that went to the tower. There,
why? I mean, it has to be for the I don't know what else you would use it for.
unless you had a need for a 200-foot tall tower.
Yeah, maybe a rival station. I mean,
No, probably. Maybe
Could have been a joke.
that's an expensive
that's
joke.
That's a tough
Oh, you
joke.
remember when they used
That's
to
a go to
steal,
prison joke. Yeah.
steal the McDonald's guy off the McDonald's up here? And
There was one restaurant here in Jacksonville had a big bull out front of it.
yes, I remember that got stolen.
Somebody stole this big old bull.
Well, somebody
Right.
stole the bird at Marina Cafe one time. Remember that? The
I do
parrot?
remember that.
That's
Yeah.
That's
evil.
dangerous.
So Joe
I don't
Jack,
like that
yeah.
bird.
That bird will rip your hand off.
He likes he likes hair.
Yes.
Yeah. He
And
does.
I was sitting on outside on the bench, and here he comes, and I was like,
No, he does like hair. Yeah.
he gets all up in it.
Little Joe Jack.
Yeah,
And when he hollers, he's
He will
Scare you.
Yes.
if you don't know he's there,
You will jump.
we were
Yes.
in there for those
I will
meetings
draw.
for downtown Court Street,
Yeah.
and he just out of nowhere would scream, and we all throwing our dishes everywhere.
Because it catches you off guard.
It does. It
Yes.
sounds like somebody getting stabbed.
It does. He's a hoot.
I remember the bull being stolen, and then the McDonald's thing was stolen too. And
They don't have
bunch of
those
us
little
at the-
McDonald's men anymore.
no, a bunch of us at the post office are going to go steal him one night and put him in our assistant postmaster's office.
Oh my,
That's how much we liked him. We didn't, of course.
good.
I'm glad you did.
No. And then we renamed his thing on the door, McDonald House.
Oh my.
Oh, things we did were just terrible.
Okay.
We had one go into the bathroom one time when he was in there, and we took the doorknob off so he couldn't get out.
Y'all are just full of.
One day he came back and we had stole his desk and put it outside. Oh, it was terrible things we did, but it was laughing. It was fun.
At another radio station, the guy was on the air. He's a part timer.
Mhm.
He's on the air. So the rest of us went out. He drove a Volkswagen Bug, and we picked it up literally
Oh.
and hauled it across a ditch to the other side.
No, you did.
Oh, we did. And he had a tough time trying to maneuver around all of everything else to drive that thing out of there.
Ray for that.
Well, that beats everything we've ever done. So I'll give
Well,
you
it
that
was
way.
it was fun.
It was fun.
Well,
It was-
Rayford, I got something to make you mad about that.
oh, good.
You like border stories,
Mhm.
or you like illegal immigrant stories.
Uh huh. They're
Did
not
you see
immigrants; they're
the
aliens.
newest came out yesterday. A Texas illegal immigrant is indicted on a capital murder charge for the cheerleaders, 16-year-old beautiful cheerleaders beating and stabbing death.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
And
disgusting.
it is beyond disgusting.
It is very
Um,
disgusting.
And I hope they don't waste any time dealing with this. I mean, it's awful. She was a pretty girl. It's terrible.
Should
yeah.
be one and done on that case.
I agree.
Well, I remember the stories a couple years ago when one was on a pew or something, and
That was in San Francisco.
one, yeah, come
That
up
guy
and
was a
stabbed
repeat
him.
offender.
Yes, yes. Horrible stories, horrible.
So many crooks are repeaters. I don't understand. It's like the little boy would go into the post office years ago with his daddy, and he'd see all these wanted poster signs up there. You know what his one question was? Daddy, why didn't they just keep them when they took their pictures?
Well, he's not wrong. I mean,
Because these were all mug shots.
yeah, it's not wrong.
Think
I
about
mean,
it.
poor. I mean, it's a
Think
good
about it.
Well, that's
question.
just
Kids
like-
pose the greatest questions.
That Patrick Mahomes, that
Mhm.
is an NFL player, and his father was just arrested again for DWI. He's been arrested so many times, like 11 times.
Yeah.
And why is we going to wait till the 12th time for him to be out there drunk driving and to hit and kill somebody?
Mhm.
I mean, it's just somewhere along the line, you need to be held accountable for your actions. Very, very good friend of mine that worked at the post office. She was the lady that did passports, for those that remember. Her and her husband went to church one evening, and it was coming up on the anniversary. It was St. Patrick's Day or something. And they went to church here in Trenton. And as they were leaving, drunk driver hit him head on. She died. And he had just gotten the control mechanism taken off his truck that day, where you have to blow into it, just had that taken off that day.
So he celebrated.
And so he celebrated. And it was not his first time.
There was another crash involving a letter carrier in his vehicle up on 17 North.
I remember that very well.
Got hit head on by
Yes.
a car coming in the wrong way,
Mhm.
coming south. He was going north.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I had to go up to that one. Let's take a break. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we've got one candidate going to be calling us by telephone. And then at the top of the hour, we got another candidate going to be visiting us.
Yes.
So we got politics today. And then we got some dumb crook news.
And then we're going to take the weekend off from politics.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 70s. This week is from February 12, 1977. That's when Manfred Mann was blinded by the light. Barry Manilow spent the weekend in New England. The Silvers dialed the hotline, and Mary McGregor was torn between two lovers. You'll hear those hits and all the top 40 songs from February 12, 1977, right here on American Top 40, the 70s.
Check out Casey Saturday mornings 8 to 11 on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-290-5599. That's 1-800-290-5599. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-290-5599. That's 1-800-290-5599. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Chico's Tires, 2320 Wilmington Highway is Jacksonville's oldest tire company, and now Jacksonville's newest tire company is Little Chico's, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard. Little Chico's carries all the major brands and all sizes, such as Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, and many others, and all new tires have warranty. In addition to a great selection of new tires, Little Chico's has used tires starting at only $30. In addition to new and used tires, Little Chico's does brake service, minor auto and truck repair, expert custom window tinting, and towing. So if you need tires, new or used, brake service, minor auto or truck repair, expert window tinting, or if you need a tow, visit Jacksonville's newest tire store, Little Chico's, 1675 North Marine Boulevard. By phone, 910-333-0473 for Little Chico's Tire Service, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard, right here in Jacksonville.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Boats, and more boats. And if you don't have but one boat, you don't have enough. If you got none, oh my, you need to hurry on down. Tideline Marine right here in Jacksonville. They got a lot of boats out there, including the Aloha luxurious line of pontoon boats in stock right now. They got 5 of them. If you've never been up close to one of these boats, do yourself a favor. Stop in at Tideline for a quick look-see. The construction is different than on most pontoons. It's meant to last. And when I say luxury, those seats, that whole interior, you could put it in any living room in Onslow County, and it would be probably plusher than any of the living rooms in
It
Onslow
would be
County.
my living room if I bought a boat.
Oh, yeah. Not only are there pontoons there, Tideline carries the line of Lund fishing boats like the Alohas. They're built for the discriminating fishermen. They're perfect for the intercoastal waterway all the way up to the shallow backwaters and creeks of the White Oak and New Rivers. And if you fish, you know that's where the reds and the specks, they like to hang out there. If you're a nearshore or blue water kind of guy, check out the center console fiberglass Aqua Sports, another top-of-the-line fishing boat that lets you get to where the big fish like to play. Tideline Marine and Family, 159 Old Bridge Street, on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. Winds today out of the southwest, 5 to 10 knots. It's going to be nice seas, only 2 to 4 feet. Dominant period, 10 seconds. I mean, those small seas are going to be far apart, too. Sounds and rivers, just a light chop. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds kicking up, 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4. Dominant period, 7 seconds. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, becoming fairly choppy in the afternoon. Sunday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots as well, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon.
Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 62. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 48. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 74. Southwest winds 5 to 14 miles an hour with gusts as high as 21 miles an hour. I don't care. It's still going to be warm.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 55. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 73 with gusts still. And then the rain starts Sunday night. It'll be cloudy, low of 54. And then it's going to rain all day on Monday. But it's going to be 66. So at least it won't be like a really cold rain.
Yeah.
But it's still going to rain.
Rain.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain coming in Sunday, Monday.
But it's not raining Saturday.
That's
So
good. And it's going to be warm.
Yes.
Hawaii's highest court on Wednesday ruled that Second Amendment rights, as interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court, do not extend to Hawaii citizens, citing the spirit of aloha. In the ruling, which was penned by Hawaii Supreme Court Justice Todd Edens, the court determined that states retain the authority to require individuals to hold proper permits before carrying firearms in public. The decision also concluded that the Hawaii Constitution broadly does not afford a right to carry firearms in public places for self-defense, further pointing to the spirit of aloha and even quoting HBO's TV drama, The Wire. Article 1, Section 17 of the Hawaii Constitution mirrors the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. That's what the Hawaii Supreme Court says. We read those words differently than the current United States Supreme Court. We hold that in Hawaii, there is no state constitutional right to carry a gun in public. Wow. So that state Supreme Court can overrule what the U.S. Supreme Court says.
is that really a thing?
Yeah,
Can
apparently
you?
so.
Oh,
But they did it.
I didn't know that.
But you can rest assured, this will go back before the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
That decision.
I agree with that.
Well, I listened to arguments yesterday at the Supreme Court level about the not wanting to put Trump on the ballot in, was it Nevada? Where was it?
Yeah, Nevada.
Yeah, no, right now my mind's got so many states on it. Yeah, and there was very compelling arguments, very compelling. But I thought what was most interesting is that the justices were just like asking some really hard questions, and it looks like by all indications that they're going to tell Nevada, put them on the ballot.
You know, what I'm looking at here, and we all know my feelings about Donald Trump
Mhm.
and about Joe Biden. they're not as harsh about Joe Biden, but he needs to go. We'll talk about that after the next stuff. I got the goods.
Did you see last night?
Yeah, I saw. I got the stuff.
It was,
But if they want to remove somebody like that from the ballot, what's going to happen, as one justice asked, when every Republican decides they want to remove a Democrat who's running?
I agree. That's
For
that's
cause.
what I'm saying. Like,
So
you're opening a big can of worms here.
If you're letting politics get in the way of this, there's a problem. Now, here's the other thing. Point of law.
Mhm.
Was that an insurrection or was that a riot that occurred? It was a riot. Those individuals have been arrested for that.
Right.
It's a riot. At the time they broke into that place, entered illegally. Insurrection is trying to overthrow the government.
Right. It's
what have they been charged with when they? I'm asking when are they charged with insurrection
I
or
don't think
breaking
so.
and entering?
Yeah, breaking and entering.
Okay.
And,
Yes.
and whatever else.
Then that would be a
assaults and
riot.
stuff like
But
that.
I thought you can be charged with actually rioting.
You can be.
But
Well,
has
I don't
it-
know what the exact charges.
Yeah, I thought it was something like a riot or
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they got what 900 of them charged.
The 14th Amendment with the Constitution was originally written to apply to
Southerners
during the Civil War.
Slave owners,
Yeah,
But
right.
specifically.
I agree with you, Rayford, that what is going to happen if people try to remove Democrat candidates?
It's going to be just like this impeachment process.
Yes.
Every time you turn around, I'm going to impeach him because he's, he did something
It's just
I didn't
so
like.
dumb.
I just think that the law is very, very vague on it. But what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go back and try to change that section of the Constitution? Because I'm against going in and messing with what's there. It's there.
I don't think that's
It's been there.
It's there. The Supreme Court interprets it on a regular basis. We know that.
We
Right?
know that, right? I just don't want to see, that's like the Convention of States. They're wanting to rewrite the whole Constitution. Leave it alone. It is what it is.
It's been working.
The problem is the interpretation on this 14th Amendment.
Mhm.
And you've got some that want to interpret as, yes, it was insurrection, and some that want to say, no, it had nothing to do with that. So it's, like you said, we'll get through it and the Supreme Court will make their interpretation. And then, 2028, there'll be something else.
Yes. Well, there's
It's
going to be
crazy.
there's something else on the table right now. We'll be talking about it, but I was kind of
Yes.
putting it off until our 7:30 interviewer at 7:32 hasn't called yet.
Well, I'm glad you're going to bring it up because I watched that last night
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what? So
Are we supposed to call him or is he supposed to call us?
he's supposed to call us.
What's late? He's late.
Well, yeah, but he'll be fine. He's in Raleigh time. Maybe he'll call, but he's probably forgotten. I don't know. I haven't heard from him, so I'm guessing that he'll be calling. But he also works too, so
At 7:30 in the morning.
mhm.
What does he do?
Security. He's a security guard. That's what he told me the last time I talked to him. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. President Biden is now facing growing
Mm-hmm.
challenges to even stay in office for the remainder of his term. With revelations from a special counsel looking at possession of classified documents stored in his Delaware home in the trunk of his Corvette parked in his garage, the special counsel is saying Biden could not remember during his interview when he was the vice president, did not know even the year that his son Beau died. But Biden is blaming the special counsel, Robert Hur, for the whole thing. He claimed that he was handling an international crisis at the time of the interviews last October. International crisis.
What was happening?
Hamas. He claimed that he was handling that international crisis at the time of his interview with federal investigators. He told reporters yesterday, in his words, now these are exact way he spoke, okay? I sought no delays. In fact, I was so determined to get the special counsel what they needed. I went forward with a 5-hour interview, in-person interview, over the 2 days of October, the 9th, 8th, and 9th. His
Wait,
exact
what?
words.
Say that again. The date.
I went forward with a 5-hour interview over the 2 days of October, the 9th, 8th, and 9th last year, even though Israel had just been attacked by Hamas on the 7th. I was in the middle of handling an international crisis. Bottom line is, a special counsel in my case decided against moving forward with any charges. And this matter is now closed. I'll continue to do what I've always done. Stay focused on my job like you do of my job of being president.
Mhm. Oh, the reporters were tearing him up last night during his news presser.
Republican Representative Claudia Tenney is calling for the cabinet to explore the use of the Constitution's 25th Amendment to remove President Biden from office following the special counsel's report. That was a 300-page report, by the way. Her did not recommend criminal charges against the president for mishandling classified documents. Those records included classified documents about military and foreign policy in Afghanistan, among other records related to national security and foreign policy, which Her said implicated sensitive intelligence sources and methods. Tenney said the DOJ cannot ethically bring charges against former President Trump because he has mental acuity and a forceful personality, and declined to bring charges against President Biden because of his cognitive decline. That's what she said. Tenney said Biden needs to be charged unless he is not mentally competent to stand trial. There you go. Is he mentally competent to stand trial? Do you think that if he was charged with, I don't know, some kind of an offense in North Carolina, that they would allow him to stand trial, given his condition?
If he can't, if they're saying he's incompetent to stand trial.
Well, no, that's if he's either got to stand trial, she says,
right,
for the same charges that Trump is going to be tried on.
But they threw that out last night.
Yes.
And you know, and he did a news presser on it last night, and I just happened to be watching it, and he was like, he was talking about, oh, it was just in boxes that weren't wrapped and taped, and I didn't know
In
what
the
my
trunk of my
staff.
car in the garage.
I had no clue what my staff did with them. They just took them and put them in my garage, and the news media went after him bad, and he got so frustrated and forgot what he was saying and what he was doing, and then he started yelling back at him, and I was
He had a
like,
fight with him.
wow, I know, it was crazy. And he also misspoke just moments before that about defending his memory, and it was a bizarre news conference.
He could not get within several years of the date that his son died.
Right. But yet he said every year around that date, they have a memorial, just him and the family, and nobody needs to tell him when his son died because he remembered. He would go off on tangents like that. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, imagine being POTUS is a very stressful job.
It is.
It's got to be. I'm stressed out from just everything that's going on around in Onslow County right now. But, yeah, it's got to be a very stressful
And
job.
I still blame both the Democrat National Committee for even allowing him to be considered to run again. Okay, and his wife and his handlers, everybody around him, they're all, if they want to stay in power, it's not that he needs to be in power. They want to stay in power. And the only way they can stay in power is if he's in office. And the only way they can do that is because they can control what he does or what he says or whatever.
Well,
but they found out they can't.
I think it's a given thing that if you're in there for your first term, they're going to support you for your second term. But still, I think that both sides have let us all down.
Yes.
As far as being a part of everything. Not putting forth better candidates, or at least giving us a choice is what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like we were given a choice.
We're not.
And I believe in democracy, and I believe in being able to sit down and have choices. And I just don't feel like we had it this year. It's Biden or Trump. And right now, both are going through their own things. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, did you ever think you would see this day in history?
No.
Did you ever think we would see the day where somebody running for president was constantly being taken to court, charged, on trial? And then the one that's already in there was having so many issues because of his age. And I'm not saying, I know I've known other people his same age that could think clearly.
Oh, yes,
There were
I do.
firebombs. So I'm not saying that they should put a cap on the age of presidency. I'm just saying that this man clearly has got some issues.
I would like to see a cognitive study done of him. He needs to go through a session with trained people,
Do you think they would release the truth?
and then somebody that has to release the truth.
I'm just saying, back in the day when people were running for president, we didn't have to hear stories about all their craziness. I mean, we picked who we wanted based on their experience, who we thought would do the best job. Nowadays, this is crazy.
It's out there in la la land.
And they waited for the election time, your primary, going up to your election, to take all these charges against Trump. I mean, why didn't they do it earlier? Why now? 'Cause it's
Timing
all
is everything.
political. Everything is so political now.
All right, let's take a break. Hopefully we'll get this call, because if not, we're probably not going to get him.
We're going to move right on.
You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chris Rainer, your host for Sports Talk. Stay tuned at 9 a.m. today. We'll have our Super Bowl preview episode. We'll have Coach Bob Sanders, former defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers and other teams. As our guests, we'll have co-host Ashley Mosley, co-host Robert Farley, and myself, Chris Rainer, Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing. Fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want it painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued of Onslow and surrounding counties.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back. 910-333-0139. You want to chat and give us a ring-a-dingy. We still haven't heard from the gentleman who's running for lieutenant governor.
No.
He's supposed to have been calling it 15 minutes ago.
I just checked my email and I don't see anything.
A California man was arrested Wednesday night in connection with a theft from an Apple store in Berkeley. not the little apple that you eat, but the one of those telephone things, in which he is seen on video snatching display devices before walking past a police vehicle and walking to a.
Yes. Yeah. Not a caller.
And let's see. Emeryville Police Department detectives arrested 22-year-old Tyler Mims of Berkeley for his involvement in the theft, charged him with burglary, grand theft, and a various assortment of other crimes. The value of the 50 iPhones was $49,230. First of all, what are you going to do with them? You can't get them programmed because they've got serial numbers in them, right?
Right.
Electronic serial numbers. What are you going to do with them?
Beyond me.
I don't get it.
Beyond
Got a
me.
caller. Good morning. Who's this? Steve?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah,
Hey.
What's
how
up?
y'all doing today?
Hanging in here.
I hear you. Oh my! I was listening to you go on and on about the two wonderful candidates that look like we're going to have for president in 2024, and it got me thinking about something funny that I think that the people in the South can relate to. It looks like to me, it's like we've got two cars. Both of them are really old and got a lot of miles on them. One's a Ford and one's a Chevy.
Uh-oh.
And right now we're riding in the Ford, and all the Chevy people are going, that Ford's a piece of junk. You need to be riding in this Chevy. But
Right.
the deal is that the Ford is old and it's a little slow and it's got high miles, but it's kind of getting us where we need to go. Not doing it's got issues, but it's kind of getting us there. And then the Chevy that they want us to take, when you crank it up, it's knocking. It's got a hole in the muffler. It's loud, obnoxious, and it's blowing smoke constantly. And so they're trying to tell us that, that car that has a lot more issues is a better car than the one we're in right now. The reality is we need a new car. But between the two we got to choose from, one obviously has far more issues and is possibly stolen and going to be in court. You see how my analogy there?
I cannot relate to that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, Steve, to be honest with you.
Well, it's like I was
What
saying.
it is we've got one president that's not doing a horrible job.
Yes, he is.
And
I
We've had
I cannot trust him at all. I cannot trust Trump, but I cannot trust the current president either to make decisions that could be in the world, could end this world.
I would agree that we need a new car.
Yes.
That both of them we should have better candidates than that.
Yes, we should.
But when you're talking about what we're going to be presented with, the choice that's probably going to come to us in November is going to be Biden or Trump. You're not going to get a candidate that is younger and more alert.
But see,
They're
that
not
was
gonna
my
give us
whole
that.
point. That's what we have to choose from. That was my whole point, and I think Rayford's point too is that why is that what we only choices we have?
Well, it's not really the only choices we have.
Well, we
Okay.
have the unaffiliates coming up, and we have the no label party that's going to
Well,
put
that's
somebody
not
out
it
there.
either. But even
Right.
even before then, depends upon what occurs with Trump.
Mhm.
If he actually ends up in court and is
Right.
convicted, or
Right.
the Supreme Court says no, you cannot be on a ballot, and they remove him from the ballot,
Right.
then there's Nikki Haley there.
Still,
And it's
no
Colorado
choices.
ballot, by the way, guys, not the ballot.
Oh, and it
Not
was
that it matters that
Colorado.
much.
That's right.
They
yes.
took him off the ballot in Colorado, I think.
Yeah, it was Colorado that I was speaking of, and I misspoke. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, my point is that that's going to probably be the two we've got to choose from.
Yep.
And I mean,
Maybe.
I know it don't seem like there's a lesser of two evils, but I mean, one's
All right.
got more baggage.
All right, Steve, we got to
One's
run
got
here.
more
We got
baggage.
another call or two.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Steve.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
No, we're hanging in here, Chris. What's going on?
Sounds like
So-
Chris.
So I'll piggyback off Steve's comparison on vehicles. How about the old saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too? So I'm going to go with this, okay? So last night, the special counsel says, according to the news, that they found that the current person at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, if he went to trial, would be seen out by the jury as just a tottering old, nice
Yep.
gentleman, something like that. Okay. So The old saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So last night he holds a big press conference and, oh my goodness, I'm sharp as a tack. My memory is good. I don't like what they did with my son, though, which was probably a little overboard. But anyway, the point was, he said, I relied on my staff to bring these documents. Now, I should have overseen them because I had those documents in my house, right?
Yep.
They show pictures of them in his garage in lousy old boxes, broken down, wide open. And he goes, but what the former president did was had them in a bathroom. Okay, but they were in nice boxes in his house. So I have a question for them to counter to Steve's little vehicle thing. Does the vice president still not have, after office, Secret Service around him?
Yes.
Yes. So his staff, whoever they are so clever. They get through Secret Service, get through the vice president's alarm system in his house, grab the boxes, take them out of the house, and put them in the garage.
In the trunk of his Corvette.
Go ahead, Rayford.
In the trunk of his Corvette.
And the trunk of his Corvette. So those people are so clever. Why don't we get them, instead of being Secret Service, to go find these terrorists and eliminate them? They've got to be that smart to get through the vice president's Secret Service in his house and move those files from in the house, which he said, to his garage. Wow. Okay. Trump is obnoxious. He's a bad influence for everybody. However, Steve is wrong. We're not in a better place right now than we were 4 years ago. We're in a worse place. And countries don't fear us anymore because they don't fear the guy that can't walk and talk without his wife telling him what to say.
Yeah.
Just my point.
I agree. All right.
Counterpoint.
All right.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Let's take a break. You're live and local Real Talk. We'll be right back.
Freedom 97.1.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
Flatwoods Outfitters of Hubert looks forward to serving you throughout the new year with all your sporting arm needs and personal safety. Located at 111 Second Amendment Lane in Hubert between Jacksonville and Swansboro, Flatwoods Outfitters is Onslow County's oldest sporting and firearm facility. Flatwoods Outfitters has a long gun or pistol in stock to fit your need, whether for hunting or personal safety. Take advantage of their outdoor shooting range to practice or to learn how to safely operate your firearm, which Flatwoods highly recommends. At Flatwoods, you can sight in your scope to be sure of perfect accuracy to bag that trophy. They carry all the major brand names of long guns, shotguns, and pistols, as well as ammunition. If you are interested in a concealed weapon permit, Flatwoods Outfitters can assist with that also. Flatwoods Outfitters, 111 Second Amendment Lane, just off Highway 24 in Hubert, where they aim to preserve our hunting heritage, wildlife, and constitution.
Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local carrier indoor weather team. Serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967. Now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning. And now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any other reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock, ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the carrier experts, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hampstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
There's a U.S. Senator from Connecticut. His name is Chris Murphy.
Chris Murphy.
No kin to
yes,
Dr.
yes,
Murphy.
yes. I know who you're talking about.
He was condemned by conservatives and immigration experts after he stated that illegal immigrants are the people we care about most. He was on MSNBC, asked by Chris Hayes about the failed border security bill. The Connecticut senator said, rather than pushing for a path to citizenship in border legislation negotiations like the party has in the past, Democrats were advocating for Ukraine funding. Huh? And well, I mean, Chris, is what Murphy responded, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So you are right. That has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe, and it has failed to deliver for the people we care most about, the undocumented Americans that are in this country. Undocumented. First of all, a lot of folks don't like that term, undocumented.
Right.
I mean, they're illegal. Okay, period, bottom line. That's the way that I see it. Murphy's comments went viral, with many objecting to him using that term, undocumented Americans, claiming it's an oxymoron. Others suggested that this was Murphy admitting the Democratic Party's honest view on the whole issue, caring more about the undocumented, the illegals, than they do about Americans. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, powerful words.
I don't get any of that. Don't get any of it. It's just way off. And even MSNBC's host there said, what?
Yeah, MSNBC seems to be trying to step up their game lately.
They seem to be becoming a little bit aggressive.
Yes.
and more conservative.
It's like Tucker Carlson, he got fired from Fox and started his own podcast and went out and did just recently an interview with Putin.
Uh-huh.
I wonder how far that's going to get him.
Nowhere. I mean, he's done. A manhunt's underway in Tennessee after a deputy sheriff was killed and another was injured during a traffic stop Thursday. During a news conference early Friday morning, the sheriff's office identified the deputy as Greg McCowan. It was also revealed that the female deputy, Shelby Eggers, was shot in the leg. She's now recovering from home after being released from a local hospital. They're looking for Kenneth Wayne DeHart. He's 42, in connection with a deadly traffic stop in Maryville, Tennessee, on Thursday night. The sheriff said warrants have been issued for first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and felon in possession of a firearm. Details surrounding the traffic stop, which took place Thursday night, and what led to the deadly shooting were not immediately available. What a shame.
It is. I agree.
There's no such thing as a routine traffic stop, y'all. Be
No.
careful out there.
I know it. And you remember back in the days,
Yeah.
How easy it was to pull over a vehicle and walk up and speak to them.
Well,
nowadays it's just like, wow.
yeah, but I never did walk up to them to
Mhm.
speak to them.
Would you just run them off the road into a ditch?
Yeah.
Pit maneuver.
Yeah, that works out fine for me.
Did a pit.
No, actually at Cary Beach at nighttime, because I was the only one working.
Right.
It was a one police officer town at
Mhm.
nighttime, and nearest help could be a long ways away. So I got out and I carried. I got out with a car. Every time I got out, I carried a shotgun with me.
Oh, that would scare the driver, I'm sure.
It's not to scare them.
But protect yourself.
It's a deterrent. It's
True. Deterrent. Very good word.
Because
Yes.
everybody they know everybody. Every
Right.
cop's got a handgun, but you get out, you don't point it at them, you just carry it. There's
I
nothing
just-
wrong with that. Actually, I had it on a sling.
Can you imagine, like let's use a highway patrolman every time he stops a vehicle, and as he's approaching it, he's in the back of his head, he's wondering,
Is this the one?
is this the one? Is this going to be the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be back in the day.
No.
Not at all.
Not even close.
There's a cop, shoot him, boom. It's just
Well, he's got a record. He's got a history. I don't know
Yes.
how much it is. Guy's 6 feet tall, weighs 260 pounds.
wow. What would you say is probably, in your mind, what would you imagine to be the leading statistics for death amongst law enforcement officers? Like, meaning, do you think it would be answering a domestic situation or doing a traffic stop?
During a
Serving
domestic
warrants?
situation, most cops are going to go in knowing that one or both sides
Right.
are going
Those are
to
very
want to fight you,
dangerous. Yes.
and you take immediate precautions.
Right.
You don't know about the one that's not in the room when you knock on the door. You don't
Right.
know what he or she is doing and where he or she is and what he or she has in their hands or available to them.
Right.
Gun, knife, or whatever. You just don't know. So you worry about that. Traffic stops, for the most part, because there are so many people that get stopped for speeding or for whatever, you don't know who the person is in the car. It's not always the person who's driving the car that the car is registered to.
Right.
So you've got that issue. You don't know whether he's just stolen the car or not. It's like the trooper over in Hugh Griffin over in Pender County did back in the 70s. He pulled a car over because it was speeding. It was occupied by 3 guys that had just escaped and stolen a car from the New Hanover County Jail, from the old jail. He didn't know it. Well, one of them shot him multiple times.
Horrible.
6 times. Had 6 entrance wounds. Well, had more than 6 entrance wounds because a couple of them went through his arm and into his body. So one bullet caused 2 entrance wounds. How do I know that?
You were there.
I
You
had to
had,
do the body.
Trooper Larry Walton, what did he die from?
Gunshot.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
he was shot.
used to be a deputy here.
Yes, and the bridge was named after him going
Yes,
over
it
to
was.
Topsail, North Topsail.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was assigned to Robinson County. And
Right.
Rough area.
Yes.
Rough area. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got a young lady
Michelle.
in the office here in the studio, Michelle Hallie.
Hallie. Yeah, you did good.
What the what did I did?
I was waiting on you. You're waiting on me. I was like, no.
But anyway, Michelle's in the
Yes.
in the studio with us, so we'll be chatting with her when we come back. You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. A special counsel report on President Biden's mishandling of classified documents puts the spotlight on his memory, calling it faulty with significant limitations. The president took issue with that at a White House news conference, then referred to Egypt's president as the president of Mexico, talking about Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza.
The president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
His attorneys write in a letter to special counsel Robert Hur, we do not believe that the report's treatment of President Biden's memory is accurate or appropriate. Former President Trump was in the Nevada caucuses.
You need leadership, and this country does not have leadership. It has no idea what's happening. It's lost its way. It's a failing nation, and we're not going to have a failing nation much longer.
In competition for the Republican nomination there in Nevada, Nikki Haley did not compete in the caucuses. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
And it's 8:03. Welcome back to Live and Local. And we're going to do some real talking here this morning. Real
Yes.
talking with Michelle. And how are things going? I've seen a bunch of signs of yours around town.
They're going well. A lot of work, meeting a lot of people, getting out there, talking, seeing what's going on, and listening to a lot of my constituents, what's bothering them, what they'd like to see changed. But I've really become enlightened about things I did not know was going on in our community. And that,
Such as?
Well, I didn't know a lot about politics. And boy, if I found some stuff out about politics. It's also a lot of work. I found there's a lot of passionate people.
Yes.
They're really concerned about stuff. Sometimes the passion gets the better of them. I think it can, everyone. But I've really been listening. Like, what do you think? What do you see? And I think that's important. When I go in, people are starting to recognize me. I've heard a lot of, we don't really know you. Well, I've been here for about near ever, but I've just kind of been laying low, doing my job, working in my community and not making a fuss, I guess. But it's been nice seeing people. I plan on Saturday going out in the Swansboro area, maybe going door to door, see if I can see a few people and just let them know who I am. Because when they start, I thought I knew you, but I didn't. And that's been real fun.
Okay, so what are some of the major issues that bothering people?
They don't feel like we're working together. They feel like there's
Talking about the school board?
yes, there's a disconnect. They don't always feel like they're being heard, and this is coming from both sides. And they really want. I think it's just like a lot of people say, it's the atmosphere in the United States right now.
It is.
And the louder you get, maybe the better you do. No, not necessarily. But if you'll sit and listen and just be quiet for a few minutes, which is hard for me because I love to talk, and listen to what they're saying. And I think they all want to work together. It's just got to the point, do we know how? And I think maybe bringing that focus. I remember when I was on a state assistance team, I'd go into schools and they'd say, what do you just think you're going to do for us? I'm just going to bring focus. Can we work together and bring focus? But part of it is, can we trust each other? Do you feel like I care? Do I feel like you care? And that's a big thing. And people want to be seen for who they are. If you don't agree with them, they feel like you're attacking them rather than I might not agree with you, but I respect your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of it. But I get told a lot of different stuff from the past. And my comment has been, okay, that's what happened. How did it get resolved? Or if it didn't, then how can we work together in the future so that it does?
Do you think some of this is a lot of passion, or some of it is a lot of obnoxious attitude?
It's a little bit of both, but I like when people, I try to remember being a high school teacher and watching my students sometimes, I just would say they're passionate.
Mm-hmm.
They're really excited today, and I get excited. But I would like to see that excitement in a different form, a more positive form, a proactive, a productive form. And when everybody's yelling, nobody's hearing. And then when someone's, do I get louder or whatever, but just, can you be quiet and listen a little bit? And I tell you, that's something I've learned over time, because I have, it's not my opinion, it's what's happening and what can we do about it based on what are our general statutes, what are our rules, what are our regulations. But I think the big thing is, I don't have to agree with everyone, but I need to respect them as a person. And I would like the same thing back for me.
Mm-hmm. We've had a couple of county commissioners and commission candidates talking about it, and they tend to agree. I might not like something. I might vote against it. My record has shown that I voted against several things, but the majority of the boards passed it, and now I support it to make sure it will come to fruition, whatever the issues are.
Well, see, it's like that sometimes. I might not agree with everything that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but I got to look at what's the good, what's good for, what's the good for the whole. And we're all, we talk about children, we start getting real passionate, especially when they're our own children. Well, I consider every child in Onslow County my child. And I know people say that. No, I really do. I've never seen a child I didn't like. Mm-hmm. And you sit and watch that little face and all, they're just adorable. There's a little girl around the corner. We don't know what she's been into this morning, but she was pretty interesting watching her when we came in. And if we all take that energy in a positive direction, rather than being accusative, and what can I do to you? What can I say about you? Because that's not going to be productive for anybody. That's not going to help anybody. Mm-hmm. But I think the big thing is just listening. And I've learned that. I know when I was at the county office, people would call in and I would listen. And after I'd listen to all this stuff, I finally said, what department are you? I wasn't even the department they wanted. I'm not sure how they got to me, but they just wanted someone to listen.
Right.
And I think that's key. That's that human instinct is, look at me, I'm me, and this is who me is. Well, that's cool. That's fine. I can deal with that. Doesn't mean I'll agree with me. And I was telling someone at this after school board, she recognized me from the forum in Swansboro. She says, are you sure you want to do this? I said, absolutely. Well, when we're going to get up there, I said, I can't talk to me like that. I'm sitting there smiling at you. And she laughed. She goes, well, I guess not. And I said, now I can't promise you that I'll always agree with you, because I know I won't. But I can promise you I'm going to listen. I'm going to think your opinion's important. It may be right. It might be wrong. I don't know, because I don't know all the background of every issue. I do like to look at things from all angles, because I change my opinion. I change my mind. Well, this says this, or I might want to do this, but the law or the general statutes or the guidelines say we're going to do it this way. And I have to follow those. And I have to follow those even. That's the way it works. And if we want that changed, then we have to change those. I think a big thing that we're forgetting, the duties of the school board are not the everyday duties of the school. We're an overseer,
mm-hmm.
but it's not the everyday situations that are occurring in the school. And I know when something's happening, and you feel like nobody's listening, you just keep going on and on and on. But like I said, I've talked to a lot of people. They're still angry about things that went on long time ago, several years ago, which means it's never been made peace. I don't know how that will happen, but I think sometimes just talking about how do we fix it. I know I told a woman I was speaking with, if this happened to your child, did it ever get resolved? Yes. Well, my advice would be, how can we ensure it doesn't happen again? What can we do to look at what happened? How did you fix it? That's good information.
We've had, I've had, and we've had on the show here, so many people, parents and others, talking about the bullying as being one of the primary concerns from their perspective, that it happened to their kid or a neighbor's kid or whatever, and it went on and on and on. It seemed to be nobody doing anything about it. Nobody ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, I think something's being done, but it's not what they wanted, because when you start listening to everyone talk, everyone has a story on all sides. I think it's addressed, maybe not the way they wanted to, maybe not at the time they wanted to. I don't think things are being ignored. I just don't think everybody's on board with the same way things need to be addressed, and that the rules are, the situation is the same for everyone. What everyone's doing, there are guidelines. We can't have chaos, especially not in our schools.
Right.
And when sometimes I see stuff, I see chaos and I see people hurting, and I'll be truthful, it hurts my heart. Someone that sad and that angry. Well, how do we address that? Well, part of that's a personal thing you have to address, but working together, you can get so much more done. I tell you, I can call somebody and I need something done. I can be nice and tell them what kind of help I need, and that I know that I should have maybe done this or that, but this is what I've done. What can we do to fix this? And if we can't, what can I do to make sure I don't do it again? And I really do take that attitude, because I mess up. We all do. And we all sometimes get a little upset about stuff, but it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart for everybody. That many people upset, but why? And how much is it now? How much has been in the past? And if it is ongoing, then what can we do to be proactive about it? Because when people are fussing and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't get anything done. It just makes people sad.
When you hear so much about it, you don't know how much is true. Like you say, you don't know exactly what was done to resolve it, because you're going to get 14 different stories and different stories. What about a task force? Maybe including 1 or 2 school board members, 1 or 2 admin members from the home office,
right,
to go to individual schools and talk to the principals, the vice principals, assistant principals, whatever they call them these days, and just make sure that everybody's on the same page about how to enforce the anti-bullying rules and regulations.
This is a good idea. I don't know what's in place right now for that.
I don't know either.
I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here listening and watching what's going on, and I think the best thing to do, I've always watched school boards online, but I think you need to be in the room to see how it really feels and to watch everything. And I love to people watch. So I sit there and watch, and you read a whole lot more what's happening. And we need to talk, and it needs to be something like that. And that might be there. I can't say it is or isn't. I'm not going to pretend to know something I don't know. But I know that when I communicate with people and I ask and listen, and then we all sit, it's hard when you're sitting down together, all talking rationally, not being upset, not being aggressive with each other. You get a lot more done. It really is. It's hard to be really, someone now, I'm smirking at you, but I'm talking about a genuine care, because I can't, people know if you're smirking.
I think a proactive approach to any issue is the best one. And bullying keeps coming up so often with us. So, we hear that all the time. And they give examples of it, and how it's handled in one school is not how it's handled at another school. There needs to be consistency.
Absolutely, because it's nothing new. Nope. My children they're grown, very much so, and they're at the age of all these parents. My son was bullied, and we went and we talked about what was going on and what was happening. And I don't know. Is people do it? No. I give them gum. You give them gum because you want me to buy gum all the time. And he said, when people are upset with me, I just give them a piece of gum. I guess that was his mechanism for of what was happening. And I remember I went and talked with the person who was a guidance counselor at the time. What was happening? They didn't know anything about it. He had said something to me. I just couldn't figure out why he needed so much chewing gum. that's the way he was making people happy. And I think over time it worked its way out. And I talked what was going on, talked with his teachers and all. I didn't go up there mad. I had just been buying this child an enormous amount of gum. It couldn't figure out what he was doing with it. And, and when he started talking with me, instead of me getting upset, like, I'm going to, I said, well, I'll go see what's going on. Well, Mama, you don't have to do that. No, I need to see what's going on and what's happening. And when you start talking and they start watching and what's happening, where it's happening at, a lot of times it was in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, just different places. You don't always see what's happening. And even if you're there watching it, what one person does and another one does, it might not appear to bullying to you, but you don't know what had happened prior to that to push that button. Because that's what it sounds like to me sometimes too. The children who are upset and things are happening to them, the other children know exactly what to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a common in a marriage. If I know something's really going to tick my husband off, I just don't do that. I mean, why would I push his buttons? But that's training, and it comes with our children too. Have they been taught how, not to do that and what to do about it? And do we have things in place? I don't know. I'd like to see, if I was on the board, I want to see all of it. But I know that is something we go back, it's sent to the superintendent. So I would talk to Dr. Collins. What are these things that are happening? I would talk to our counselors. I know we do have interventions, and we have a person at the county office that deals with parents and different things like that. So I don't know all the ins and outs of what's been done. And I think part of it is we've had things in the past we were not happy with. It's my understanding, Southwest Middle, they have a principal, but the one in the past they had problems with too. So, I mean, what's going on there? So that definitely is something we need to look at. And it needs to be taken serious. We need to listen. But I think the things in the past, were they able to fix? If we didn't, how can we make sure it doesn't happen again? That's just the best way I know how to answer that.
Sure. Okay. So what's your major concern right now with the school system or the Board of Education? What do you want to do on day one next December?
I want to see if we can start working together as a unit. And I say a unit, I mean the community. Can we come together and be one? We all talk about we want what's best for children. And I believe that. But how can we do it together and start to build those relationships? I know I've said this before, and I've been kind of teased about my little thing. It says my head, my heart, and my hands. And people don't care how much I know to how much I care. I can sit here and tell you all kinds of stuff. You're like, okay. But if I listen to you tell me, and then we talk and we build that relationship, then we can work together. You just can't go in and start saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. First, I'm going to just build my relationships. I'm going to build relationships, model that, model what I'd like to see. And when we start building those relationships and talking, listen, I think it'll be a slow, it's not going to be a turnaround overnight, because they're going to have to learn. If I'm on the board, can you trust her? Is she talking the talk? Is she going to walk the walk? And I just want to build those relationships. And I don't think anyone doesn't want to do that. I don't know where the stop gate occurred. What happened? Has it always been there and just bubbling underneath the surface like a slow simmering pot? So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to build relationships, and let's see, how can we work together with our community? Because that seems to be, it says, no one's listening. This is just what we do. You're the governing body, and this is what you do. And I don't want more rules, because I don't believe in big government.
Yeah, there's plenty of rules.
Yeah, so that means if you work together, then we build those together. My classroom, I didn't make the rules. I let the students make them. Could we agree with them? And what would be the outcome of that? And how would this work? And about always, we all agreed on this. When we started talking about, had a conversation, rather than me saying, this is what we're going to do. Because you can't tell a group of high school students what you're going to do. I couldn't.
They'll work around you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I had to get their buy-in. Like in a classroom, if I had a child that was completely in control of the class, and you have those situations, I didn't call them out in class or her. I talked to them after class, explained to them what I was trying to do, and I needed their help. I will need the help of every parent and all my constituents in Onslow County to have a successful school board. That's the way it's really true success, is when we all work together for that common goal. And maybe we are going to have to define the common goal. I think it's children. I know it's children. I think everyone does. But how do we articulate that in such a manner that everyone says, yeah, we can do that. Let's work together. And we're still going to have unhappy people.
Oh, yes, for sure. All right, Michelle, we'll see you on the 5th.
Yes.
I hope so. Come here. Either way, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm praying about and keeping everybody in my
Good
prayers.
experience too.
Oh yeah, and it's been fun getting out and talking to so many
Yeah,
people.
you've met a lot of people now.
And I appreciate y'all having me back on again at any time. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Best
you.
of
All
luck
right.
to you.
Let's take a break here live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Chris Rainer, your host for Sports Talk. Stay tuned at 9 a.m. today. We'll have our Super Bowl preview episode. We'll have Coach Bob Sanders, former defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers and other teams. As our guests, we'll have co-host Ashley Mosley, co-host Robert Farley, and myself, Chris Rainer, Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 West Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox today for savings on your homeowner's insurance.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only cover protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home. That's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2023 in the flooring covering and carpet cleaning category. Because floor covering, they're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering, family owned and operated since 1997, with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering, you stand on it, we stand behind it.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Want a boat? You don't have to need a boat. You just got to want one. Going down to Thailand Marine right here in Jackson, a bunch to choose from the Aloha pontoon boats to the Lund fishing boats to several offshore aqua sport fishing boats. You can go near shore, offshore with those things and get out there where the big fish like to play.
That's where I want to go.
That's where you need to go. And, yeah, everybody wants to go except Kelly.
Sure.
Kelly can clean the fish when we
There
bring
you
them
go.
back.
No, we clean.
Yeah, okay.
I clean the fish.
Yeah, I'll
on the
get
way
right
back.
on that.
I clean the fish on the way back in. That's the way I like to do it.
Yeah.
So if you just want to take a look, see at these boats and see the quality of them, it's not like the old flimsy boats of yesteryear that some people still sell, but these are really first class boats. They're good. You need to check them out. Tideline Marine and Family, 159 Old Bridge Street on the banks of the New River in downtown Jacksonville. The doors will be opening in 6 minutes. Offshore today, winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 4, dominant period 10 seconds. Pretty nice day. Sounds and rivers, only a light chop. Now tomorrow, southwesterly winds again 10 to 15, but they'll be increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4, not bad. Dominant period 7 seconds. It's doable in the morning, but just be prepared to come on in when it starts to get a little bit rougher. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, becoming choppy in the afternoon. Sunday, southwesterly winds 10 to 15, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. 4 to 6 footers. Here you go. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon.
Today, mostly cloudy, a high of 62. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low of 48.
And dark.
Yes, it will be dark, Rayford. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 74, but gusty winds, as high as 21 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy, low of 55. And on Sunday, mostly cloudy, a high of 73. We still have the gusts. And then Sunday night into all day Monday, and Monday night rain.
Yeah.
But Tuesday will be sunny again.
Well, get ready to get the garden area ready. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Nice and wet.
Tomorrow will be a good day.
Tomorrow will be a good day.
The water temperature offshore, by the way, further out there, 10, 12 miles and further, is going to be in the upper 50s, approaching 60 degrees. A warm spell this weekend. It's going to probably bring up the surf temperature. Right now is still hovering around 52, 53 degrees up and down the coast. Okay. You got your job done? Your chore?
He is at his grooming appointment.
You're talking about Robin?
No, I'm talking about my pup Jack.
Robin.
No, I had to fight to put harness on today.
Oh, did you?
So long, he was not having it. Yeah.
Well, he knows that means either I'm getting a shot today or they're going to start cutting on me.
True. So, but he's there now, and it was full of dogs. So everybody's dropping off their pets. So he'll be handsome when I go pick him up.
No, let's say they're even handsome when they're ugly.
He's a good
You know that?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see where that 200 steel foot tower is going to show up.
I was thinking about that actually while we were driving.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely was thinking about that. I'm just telling how no one sees this giant tower going down the road, even in the middle of the night. I mean, I don't know how that works.
Well,
but
they stack it up on a flatbed, 20-foot sections.
yeah, maybe I guess if it's on a flatbed, no one's really going to question it
No.
because it just looks like somebody's hauling it. Okay,
Yeah.
good point. Good point.
That's likely how they did it. So anyway, it's kind of a mess out there for sure. I've just had, another TV station, WWAY, many years ago, an airplane hit the tower on a Saturday afternoon, hit the wing of it, hit the back at the very top of the tower, the antenna,
Right.
and it said one of the guy wires broke, and it set that thing into motion, 1,200 foot of tower, and it came tumbling down.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, the part of the tower went through the transmitter.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I got pictures of it out there, and everything just went dead. And before cell phones or anything, but I was riding around. I just left the TV station.
Mhm.
Then I get a call from the control room over the two-way because we always had two-ways. And he called and said, "I got a call. We're off the air, but I got a call that something happened to the tower." I said, "Okay." So I headed back to the station. That's where I spent the next 3 days taking pictures of the damage and everything. But the general manager at the time, he runs into the control room because he came over too, and he hollered at the master control operator, put up a slide saying that we're off the air due to technical difficulties. Mr. Diab, I said, "We're off the air. Who's going to see that?"
Very true.
He looked at me and he said, "That was pretty stupid, wasn't it?" I said, "I didn't say
He
that."
just had a moment.
I'm going to follow this story this weekend. I have to know where it shows
I am
up.
telling you. Yeah, keep me posted.
200-foot radio tower stolen in Alabama from a radio station. How do you do that overnight?
That's some skill.
Yeah.
That's one for you to investigate, Mr. Investigator.
There you go.
We have a call.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
I probably could find that tower. I'd like to have it.
We had a call.
We did. Timmy hung up there. I don't know where he went.
And we have somebody in the studio.
We do.
Yes.
Paul Buchanan, how are you, sir?
Good. How about you guys?
Just hanging in here. Just
Good to see you all.
Just like an old guy hanging in here. So you got a campaign you're working on.
Yes, sir.
How many is this?
Going on my sixth.
6 terms.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's a quarter century.
Yes, sir. It is.
Wow.
But it's what the people want.
Yeah.
Good answer, Paul. That was spot on.
Well, he's not wrong. Okay, Tim's calling back.
There he is.
Hello,
Okay, Tim. How are you doing, Mr. Donkey Man? Hee haw.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got a guy over there on Martha's lost. He called me just fine. I had to get him straight. That's it.
Gotcha.
I didn't think you'd get lost on Martha's, but you can.
I guess you can.
Evidently. I guess you can. I was listening to poor old Steve.
Oh, Steve is fine.
Oh yeah, he's poor old Steve on that scenario. It was a good scenario, but the thing about it is, he said, "Yeah, we need a new car." I said, "Well," to myself, the trouble of it is, all the new cars we have out there ain't worth buying.
There's a
That's the
lot to
problem.
be said about that.
Let's not start about the
and
electric.
that's what I was getting at. And he was talking about loud and not, and that we are not doing fine. I don't know where he gets. I don't know what world he's living in, but we are not doing fine. In fact, it made me reminisce talking about Reagan, and when Trump was even in office, people were scared to death. Other countries were scared of him. But it's what tickled me about Reagan. All the other countries were scared to death of Reagan for one thing and one thing only. And they watched his movies, his cowboy movies, and his war pictures, and they were scared to death.
Yep. That's
And I remember
that's what Ayatollah Khomeini said. The reason he turned loose the hostages, right, the same day that Reagan took office, is because he was quoted as saying that the only thing that we knew about this man is from the movies, and all he did was go around killing people.
Yeah.
So
and it's an image thing.
It is.
It is an image thing. And I mean, and he's talking about age limit. I mean, you know, old cars, but you know, what was the youngest president we've had since I've been alive? Kennedy?
I think so. He was 41, I
Or
think.
Obama. It was either Kennedy or Obama. I don't know how old Obama.
I don't know, but he aged about 40 years while he was in office.
He sure did, buddy.
Everybody does.
He did. And everybody does. I mean, you look at a picture before, and then you look at a picture just 4 years later, not 8, and you'll see a lot of wear and tear. So it's not an easy job. I guarantee you it's not an easy job.
No, I wouldn't want it. I don't want it. I don't want anything like that.
I don't even want a county commissioner's job. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, and I tell every one of them, even ones I don't care about, I feel for you for being in office, but I appreciate it. And there's one I haven't told that, and we won't get into that. But I mean, I appreciate them being there. And I mean, look at Jack Bright. As long as he was in there, and Jack Bright's made me mad before, and Jack Bright has made me happy. But the thing about it, Jack Bright was Jack Bright. And you can take him or you can leave him. He was like Dale Earnhardt. Either you liked him or you didn't.
Wow,
and
what a comparison.
Jack Bright, I think, did a lot of things for this county. I really think he did. And there was a lot of past county commissioners did a lot of great things. Some I liked, some I didn't like.
Well, you know, then there's that guy, Paul Buchanan. What do you think of him?
Paul? Oh, Lord, have a bless you, little pig. He can't, bless him, he can't say 4. He said, 4. I said, what? And we were announcing a horse show one night, and he was up there, and he was announcing. He really me. And I said, he said, 4th. I said, what?
That's a law enforcement thing.
No, it's a New Jersey thing.
Oh, it's a New Jersey
It's a
thing.
Yankee
That's
thing.
Jersey, and that's what I used to call him, Jersey. It's son, you're living in North Carolina. And I look at his wife, June, teach him. Please teach him, June. Please help him. But yeah, old Paul's all right. He's third head. I've known him for years. God, I might have known him for years. Because we'd run around horse shows together and stuff like that. And I always picked on him. In fact, the biggest joke I ever got on him, I bought a set of timers from him to run horse shows with. And I said, we're going to have Farmers Day Parade. And I said, you're going to be there? I said, I'll pay you when you get. Okay. And I got the timers, and him and some more county commissioners standing there, and I walked up, and I said, here's that campaign money.
That's exactly what he did.
And, oh, Lord, that is not true. He turned around and looked at and Martin Aragona was there. That is not true. He's buying timers. I said, you told me it was campaign money. And, I mean, I just give him a fit. But, yeah, old Paul's all right, man. I mean, I voted for him every time he's run. So there must be something to it.
Well, one of the things about you, Timmy, you got to the listeners to understand you too, because you did a lot for the county. You hauled a lot of horses for us. You did a lot of work for us for the county the years that Jack was in office.
Oh yeah, and Jack knew it. Y'all knew it. Nobody in hardly in the county knew what I was doing because it was a secret. But people didn't know about it. Don't worry about it. And the county paid me, but I was so cheap. And even Jack hit me when he said, damn, that's pretty. I said, I'm not losing any money. I'm not trying to gain any money. I said, I'm not losing any money. And I said, when we adopt them out, I try to make sure y'all don't lose money. And me and Marshall Dodson sat down and we fixed up the proposal, and I gave it to I gave it to the manager of animal control. He presented it to the health department. The health department presented it to y'all and said, man, that's a good deal. Because we looked at some laws and stuff that we hadn't even thought about of what animal control could actually do. They could actually charge for things that they weren't really charging for. And so we were not trying to cost the taxpayer any money. And that's why, and I did it for 22 years, and I hear people now, well, it's Loup County Animal Control, they don't do this, and they don't do that. They ain't never done nothing. I said, well, the 22 years I worked for them, they did. I said, because I'd get called out in the middle of the night. We'd go pick up horses that were running loose in the middle of the night, and stuff like that. But no, I sit back and I appreciate the county commissioners, what they've done. Even, way back then, we had a time, and we had to work with the sheriff. When we worked with the sheriff's department on it, and I was real adamant back then about the sheriff's department taking over animal control because it was law enforcement, and it didn't never happen. And now I'm kind of glad it didn't, I guess, because they're doing things now with the livestock that before that we didn't do. We got some people that will take them now and hold them. And take care of them, and just turn them over to them. If the defendant releases it, they take them and they pick them up and they send them out. The county doesn't have hardly any money in it at all.
Timmy, if you hear of any wild or cows that get loose and they're kind of look kind of tender, give me a call.
Yeah.
I'll go get those.
I'm going to need you not to do that, Tim. You will not.
Out of my 22 years, we had one cow got loose, and I went and got it.
How did it taste?
I didn't. The next day, the owner found out about it, and he went to animal control, paid his fine, and he came and got it. And he looked at me, he said, how in the world did you catch it? I said, I did. He said, well, you had to catch, and I pointed down at the dog. I said, the dog running into the trailer. He said, well, how much you want for the dog? I said, he ain't for sale.
Well, Timmy, do you remember when the bull got loose in Jacksonville?
Oh, my God, yeah.
A bull?
That was a sad day. Yeah, it was a sad day. One of our snipers had to take it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure did. That was before I actually really got involved.
That's been 20, maybe 30 years ago that happened.
That's a shame.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was.
But it's
But
doing a
y'all
lot
be
of
good. I'm
damage.
going to get off here. Paul,
Is that
tell
good
him-
meat?
Tell him how bad you want to be county commissioner. I ain't seen a sign.
Well, he will if you
behind the
hang
mailbox
up.
yet.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to call you this weekend.
You call me.
Okay.
I'll be trimming donkeys off
Yeah.
on Saturday, but call me. Just call
I'm going to give you a call.
Okay.
Hey, Timmy, there's signs all over Richland.
Yeah, I've seen them.
I know. I'll have to steal one. I got to get
Keep a watch on 'em.
sign, and I was just gonna put one of them off the side of the road.
You
I
have
know
my
about
permission to
Don't
do
worry
that,
about it.
Timmy.
Okay, I figured I did. But y'all be good. I will talk to y'all.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
All right, we'll get back to Paul here in just a second, too. Chris, how are you?
Good morning. How are you guys today?
We're doing fine. What you got coming up here in about 20 minutes?
Well, first of all, I want to say how informative your show is. I never knew Paul was from up north.
Thanks, Chris.
Really?
I could have sworn that was Paul's run accent all these years.
I came here 52 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you're slowly. If you go back up there now, they probably say you got a little drawl now.
I would agree.
Yeah. We got a big show coming up. We got Coach Bob Sanders, NFL defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, talking about the big game coming up this weekend.
Tell him I said, hey.
I think it's a big game this weekend.
What game? Bowling?
Yeah. He's going to break down the whole Taylor Swift dynamic.
Oh,
He better
Here we
not,
go.
Lord.
All that stuff.
He better not.
We also got Robert Farley co-hosting, and Ashley Mosley is always a trip in the studio, so it'll be a good time.
Good.
We have one question. We've been,
Stick around and listen.
Chris, we've been writing down everybody's projections for the game Sunday night. What's yours? I'm going to add you to the list.
I think the Mahomes, the quarterback factor is going to play a lot. I think Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant and coming in and he's done really great, but it's a different stage. And Mahomes has been there. I think that experience at quarterback is going to be the difference. I think Kelsey will have a big game too. You know, he want to shine for his girlfriend upstairs.
So what's your predictions on the score?
Oh, score.
Yeah.
31-23 Chiefs.
All right.
You're close to me. I said 31-24.
Yeah, that's what
So,
Kelly's got, 31-24. All right.
Nice.
Same team, Chiefs.
Yeah, same team, Chiefs. Oh, definitely
Okay.
quarterback makes a
Great minds
difference.
think alike.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we got to stay tuned. We'll be on at 9 a.m.
All right.
Sounds like a winner.
We'll be listening.
Thank you, sir. All right, bye. Let's take a break here live and local. Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME.
Well, hi, this is Rick Dees. I know you are, but what am I? All right, the Weekly Top 40 is what we are, happening here this weekend. Don't forget the Weekly Top 40 Challenge. I want you to win this great super VHS video recording system and 2 crisp new $100 bills this weekend. Oh, yeah. Look out for Patrick Swayze, the heartthrob, here, live in the studio this weekend, plus the 40 most sizzling hits all over the USA. We'll see you for the Weekly Top 40 here this weekend.
The Weekly Top 40 80s edition, Sunday night, 6 to 10 on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full-color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
Hello, shoppers. Don't forget to take advantage of the weekly specials at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things cost less, on the Richlands Highway here in Jacksonville and Main Street in Maysville. And remember to sign up for Pig Sports, where you get 1 point for every $1 that you spend. How about Sweetheart boneless ribeye steak for just $10.99 a pound? Boneless chuck roast is only $5.99 a pound. 10 pounds or more fresh ground chuck is only $3.99 a pound. Whole Boston butt, just $1.49 a pound. St. Louis style pork ribs, $1.99 a pound. Whole chickens, just $1.49 a pound. And remember, the beef and pork is cut fresh every day. Operated Piggly Wiggly store, and they use only the finest and certified Angus beef and Sanderson's Farm chicken. Over in produce, you get a 2-pound package of fresh strawberries for just $5.98. Holy guacamole, buy one, get one free. 14-ounce shredded lettuce, $2.99 a bag. Russet baking potatoes, just 99 cents a pound. A dozen premium rose bouquets, just $27.99. 1 pint of fresh blueberries are only $3.99. Hot jalapeno peppers, $1.99 a pound. And large California lemons, just 69 cents each. And you get 3 6-packs of the 16-ounce size of Pepsi or Mountain Dew for just $11. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, where good things cost less. Down home, down the street on the Richlands Highway, Jacksonville, and Main Street in Maysville. Remember, say big with the P.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
And we're back in here, and we have another caller. Jack, how are you?
Good morning, Rayford and Kelly, and Lee, Paul.
Hope you folks are doing well this morning.
We're hanging in here.
Hanging in there, Jack.
I tell you, a previous guest you had on, Miss Michelle Halley. I tell you, she does a good job. I think she is a good candidate for the school board. That's just my opinion.
She's got a lot of experience, and as she said, she's a good talker too.
Yeah, she does a good job communicating.
She does.
Paul, I've got a somewhat of a question for you. Me being on the board before, I have normally more information than the average citizen about budgets and spending and expenditures and so forth. And we tried several times to get the quarter-cent sales tax, and because we have one of our legislator delegation folks here, they basically saying we have a spending problem and not a revenue problem. But I find it hard to understand the 80% of or a little bit over 80% of the county budget is mandated. And that mandate is by the very one that's saying we have a spending problem. So I don't quite understand why that person is taking that position, saying that we have a spending problem. A lot of people don't know what correct me, Paul, if I'm wrong about this, but the 20% of discretionary spending we have comes from our parks, library, I think the Onslow Museum, the sheriff's office, except for the sheriff and one deputy, that is mandated. Emergency management, volunteer, and the county fire departments is discretionary. Dick's Crisis Center is discretionary. Animal services. Which has the public contacted you, Paul, and said which one of these discretionary spending things we need to cut out or not spend money on?
No, that has not happened, Jack. The people are very happy with what's going on. There's just a few people that are, the naysayers that are out there. But the key to it is, in some of these forums we've been going to, they've been talking about the quarter-cent sales tax. And one individual kept saying, well, we need a referendum. But the problem with the referendum is you got to get those three legislators to go to Raleigh and ask everybody, because it doesn't take those three. It takes the rest of the legislation to give us the permission to put it as a referendum. Mm-hmm. And you have some people saying, well, we need a referendum. But the first place you got to do is you got to get past the legislators to get the rest of the legislators to say, yes, you can go ahead and do it in Onslow County. But we don't have a spending problem. We don't have a spending problem,
Absolutely.
Jack.
Absolutely. A local bill requires a local delegation to support it, and then it will most likely pass. And that's how we got the quarter cent a few years back, is by referendum.
That's correct.
And
it was 2010.
It was earmarked for certain expenditures.
Jack, if you remember, when we did it the first time, it didn't pass because we didn't earmark it. And then when Jeff Hudson came on staff, we went ahead and earmarked it, and it passed.
That's correct. Has anybody ever laid out what on these forums and some of these questions that some of these people ask? They want to know what is mandated, and I've got like a small list of things that is mandated, and a lot of people don't realize what those are. Do you have? Can I list those? And if I list one wrong, can you straighten me out on that?
Go right ahead.
Well, first of all, is the schools. We have 41 campuses, and their school population is growing. Right now, we have 27,000 students in the Onslow County school district system. And just about every year now, we're having to build, or every 2 years, we're having to build a new school to accommodate the overflow of population. And we're still playing catch up. If people don't believe that, they can ride around to these campuses and see all these mobile classrooms that's there. So it's not, the campuses that we have just don't have enough classroom space as it is. So we're trying to accommodate that. that's a big part of the budget that's mandated. And the courthouse is mandated, the building, the health department and the health department building and consolidated human services. That's a mandated function by the county. Probation and parole, those buildings that we have to house those folks in. The county manager even is a statute required position. County clerk or a representative of that is mandated. The county attorney is mandated that the counties have. Department of Social Services, District Attorney's Office, the Board of Elections building, the Board of Elections employees, and election equipment and poll workers. Don't you remember about 4 years ago, or maybe been 3 years ago, the state come out, this is another legislative action that was mandated. You've got to increase your retirement contribution from the county to all your employees. And that cost us
that was an increase.
$5
It
million.
cost, yes, it did cost $5 million.
Wow.
And then
And
now,
that
what
was
do you got
something that
now,
was
Jack? We got
mandated.
Medicare. That's brought on.
Absolutely.
How many more DSS workers do we have to take care of that? I think there's 8. Do we have to have 8 more employees to handle that situation?
Well, for the Medicaid expansion,
Yes.
you've got to have someone to process it. And I have, I think Miss Griffin had told me before I retired that that was going to be a big expense for the county, 8 or 10 employees that we had to hire for that. But another thing that came up was county vacancies and turnover. I've asked Mayor Phillips, and I've talked to other communities about this. Highway Patrol, we have a tremendous turnover, and it's hard to fill those spots now.
That's correct, Jack. And, a lot of times, or their spouses are military and they move out of the area, or they find other jobs that pay more than what we pay. And we're trying to work on that now. We're doing a market analysis of all our employees.
That's what it's a work in progress all the time, and the budget is a work in progress. So if you do approve a budget, it may not be the same at the end of the year as it was when you approved it, because there's things that come along that you get grants and everything that you have to do a budget amendment. Anytime you put a dime in or take a dime out other than what's in the budget, you have to have a budget amendment, and that changes the overall scope of the budget. But anyway, I thought I'd call in and point that out, because a lot of people just don't realize the dynamics of a county and county government, and it's totally different from a city. Municipalities don't have mandates. They may have their own mandates, but they don't have the mandates that a county has, and they don't have the the county doesn't have the flexibility with their revenue as municipalities do.
All right. Jack, I appreciate it, sir. Good points.
Thanks, Jack.
Take care.
All right, you take care. Let's take a break here. Live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Don't break a heart or your bank account this Valentine's Day. Be sure to make it a Barnes Diamond Gallery gift for the love in your life. You see, you always get a sweetheart of a deal at Barnes Diamond Gallery. Family owned and operated since 1982. You are guaranteed to find the perfect diamond, emerald, ruby, or sapphire. Barnes Diamond Gallery also has a great selection of earrings, watches, bracelets, necklaces, rings, and pendants that will make that special person happy this Valentine's Day. Barnes Diamond Gallery custom designs jewelry and pays top prices for gold, sterling silver jewelry, sterling flatware, and diamonds. Make that special person feel extra special with a gift from Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, right here in Jacksonville. Family owned and operated since 1982.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Chino Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Chino Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Chino Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back here for the closing 5 minutes or so of the show today. And Paul Buchanan, County Commissioner, former law enforcement, and still employed in that general field anyway.
Reserve
I
police
was
officer.
going to say former law enforcement. You still are law enforcement as a reserve officer.
Purple Heart. Purple Heart recipient.
Yeah.
Twice.
He's shot in Swansboro.
I was there.
By Glenn Glancy. I know you were.
I was there.
I mean, that man was crazy.
I did do.
Well, I have a question I want to ask you because I attended the forum that the Swansboro Area Chamber of Commerce had the other night for the commissioners. And there was one comment between you and Commissioner Knapp that you put out there that caused a huge uproar. And I would like for you to explain. It had to do with the statement that 40% of the people in Onslow County didn't pay property taxes. Would you please explain that to those listening?
Well, the people that list their property taxes about 60%. So the other 40% don't have to pay the taxes. We're talking about property tax now.
Right.
On your house and on your property. That's what we're talking about. There's other taxes that are at the course, and sales tax helps a whole lot. But the biggest thing is the property tax of the property owners. And we hear that from them all the time. So we pay more taxes than everybody else does here. Then you got the military that live on base that have cars, don't pay any taxes on that vehicle.
Right, because they're still running without a state. They're not required to change over to North Carolina.
They have North Carolina tags, but
Oh,
they're
that- oh, the ones-
exempt.
Oh,
They
yeah,
are
okay.
exempt.
You're right. Yes.
And the state did that, exempted them from paying any taxes. So there's no road, we're not getting any road tax off of that at all. So the property tax people are the ones who are carrying the biggest burden. There's other taxes, but the biggest burden is a property tax person.
And even if military is renting a house off base, right?
Yes.
If anybody's renting a house off base, there's other things in there. Your possessions, there's property taxes that probably are not being listed.
No, that's,
except by the
that's personal
homeowner,
stuff.
the house.
And you have the individual that's renting, the landlord.
Yeah.
That's right. He's paying taxes on that property.
Yeah, he's paying taxes on the house.
Right.
But on other stuff, nope.
No. Personal taxes. The only thing that you're listing on a lot of times is like boats and RVs and
Anything
golf
that's
carts,
got a North Carolina tag.
Anything that's got a North Carolina tag on it. And it's going to get registered automatically. It goes into our people. It goes into the state, and then the state lets everybody know. Like,
Yeah, because when you renew your tag, you'll if you haven't been through that process yet, you will be paying a tax on it too as well.
and you
Or
have to
or
pay
you
the
won't
tax,
renew the
or you won't
tag.
get the tag. That's right. You will not get the tag renewed.
Well, I have a question for you. It has been said that Onslow County gave, I don't know, contributed, whatever the word you want to use, $70,000 for the gazebo and the other improvements made in Swansboro. I didn't think that was an accurate statement. Is that accurate?
That's incorrect. What happened there? That's a grant. I think the grant was $70,000 that came from Parks and Recs, and they came to us and asked us for $12,800. The only thing we gave out of that $70,000 was $12,800, and it was for flag poles, the gazebo, and some other stuff. I think maybe some of the pavilion that's where it went, but we only paid $12,800, and that wasn't unanimous by the commissioners. A couple of commissioners voted against that. At the time, I think there was 5 commissioners, and there's 3 of us voted for it, and 2 voted against it. Same thing with the pavilion. We gave $30,000 for the pavilion, a part of a grant. There was more money involved in that pavilion, and that was a 3-2 vote. There was 2 commissioners that voted against it. So sometimes the commissioners will vote for that tourism money, and sometimes they don't. But Barbara Eichner, when she was the chair and one of our commissioners, her and I sat down one day and said, we need to do more capital improvements with our tourism money, stuff that the people can see and touch. And that's what we try to do. And we've done that with Swansboro.
Well, explain the tourism money. You can't just willy-nilly use that for just anything, correct?
No, it has to fall under the criteria of using that money properly. And that's just like the question that came up the other night. And then the question was an incorrect question, because the question they're asking about is the advertising. We don't fall under the preview of Swansboro. They have to do 2/3 of advertisement and 1/3 they can use for capital. We have the other way around. We can use 2/3 of the money and 1/3 goes to advertising. So somebody said we don't do any advertising. We do. We do a lot of advertising, because they forget we give tourism money to the chamber in Jacksonville and toward our tourism authority and to the sports commission. Those people advertise all over the place with that money that we give them
to bring in tourism.
To bring in tourism, and what the chamber does is they do only an Onslow, that book, and they take that to all the rest sites along the interstate. So there's a lot of advertising going on, because I know somebody said the other day we don't advertise.
You're just not advertising in Jacksonville or Onslow County,
correct?
Per se.
Well, we have a big sign for the airport.
Yeah, I know that.
Big sign.
But that's for people coming in.
Coming in, that's correct.
I have more questions. You're going to have to come back.
All right, we're going to take a break for a long weekend.
Yes.
From now until Monday morning, anyway, however many hours that is, a bunch. Okay.
Don't forget Sports Talk.
Sports Talk's coming up right after Fox News break, but then at about 10 o'clock or so, Sports Talk will hand it off to Rick Dees, and he'll do another dose of his daily Dees. He's got some good music, and he's got some funny comments too, all day long. And then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, our little buddy, Hollywood, the man, will take over. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you shortly. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSMA, WSMA971.com. Heard around the world. See you Monday.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.